Hallo, willkommen zurück bei Zodiac Trial. Ich hoffe, ihr hattet schöne Feiertage, schöne Weihnachten. Aber jetzt geht weiter mit Traurigkeit, Horror und ganz viel Gefahr. Denn wir sehen ein Feuer, ja. Im letzten Part haben wir eine neue Route beschritten und dabei müssen wir ein seltsames Ritual machen. Aber dieses Ritual scheint ein wenig schief gelaufen zu sein und jetzt brennt Ochs. Ja, unpraktisch. Im letzten Part haben wir versucht, ihn zu retten und das ging nicht gut aus. Von daher müssen wir ihn jetzt wahrscheinlich leider verbrennen lassen. Von daher, get to safety. My emotional side went up for Orcs. My logical side realized there was no way in hell I was saving him. I mean, at this point he was already engulfed in flames. It just wasn't feasible anymore. I should focus on saving those who were still alive. Namely, myself. In what I could only honestly describe as an act of pure cowardice, I immediately turned away from the fire and ran out of the room through the door. It would have looked pretty shitty if I was the only one to try something like this. Lucky for me, I was hardly the only coward. In fact, the entire room cleared of people. Every single one of them immediately put as much distance between them and the sudden inferno as possible, running out of the room en masse, screaming all the while. Once we had all gotten to safety, we took a moment to stop, take a breath, and realize what had happened. And once we had calmed down, we were able to re-enter the room and see what exactly we were dealing with. Inside, we didn't see Ox's corpse. That would be far too kind a term for what we laid eyes on. No, instead we looked at flaming, charred flesh in a vaguely human shape. I saw that sight which would be burned in my retinas for the rest of my life. And then I promptly began to throw up.
So it's settled then, right? We agreed?
Nothing is settled.
Sounds pretty settled to me. Predictably, after the smoke literally cleared, our group defaulted to our usual pastime, incessant bickering. The creepy music had stopped a while ago. It went without saying that the ritual had failed. Our one shot at skipping to the end of this stupid race blown. But that was really more of a secondary issue. The primary issue being the exact circumstance that had left us with a burning corpse. Oh my god. Clearly it was murder. Murder by arson. The question was, who did it? Up until this point, I had mostly stayed silent in the corner. Even though in the past I had tried to lead the group, I needed some time to take in everything that had just happened. Ox. He was the person I woke up with. The person I had spent a lot of time with. He seemed reliable, like someone you could depend on. For him to end up like this? Well, at least I was holding up better than some people. But for Orc's sake, I couldn't just stand passively by any longer. I needed to help solve shit. It seemed, however, that the group had reached a conclusion without me.
Now, horse. We don't want to start a fight over this. We just want to figure out what happened. Could you try explaining to us why you aren't the culprit?
I'm not the culprit because I didn't kill anybody.
Right, and?
For him of all people to become the prime suspect. Ah, what a tragedy. This interrogation will be dreadfully dull. Sorry if I'm not amusing to you, Snake. Do you want me to juggle while I deny being a murderer?
It's not necessary.
That'd be pretty badass if you could pull it off.
Indeed, it would be rather badass, wouldn't it? Horse, you can see where we're coming from, though, right? Both Rooster and Sheep have confirmed you were standing up when things went down. You admitted it yourself. It's clear from the way that flames went up that the culprit poured oil on Ox and lit him up. You were the only one who could have done it.
I didn't.
Oh, coolen Krankenwagen. Oder Feuerwehr.
Compelling stuff. You are not even going to attempt to point out that there is still a significant amount of oil in the bucket. Why would I, when you can do that for me?
Because I'd also point out that we are unsure of the exact amount of oil that was in the bucket, so it's entirely possible you could have sloshed someone in.
If you make points in your defense by yourself, I won't instantly know their weakness.
Sounds annoying. If I have to, though, how exactly did I light a fire?
Oh, now this is an interesting quandary. How was the fire started?
If we're looking for ways to light things, I saw Dragon take out this sick lighter earlier.
Oh, really? Gonna fucking knock me like that, girl? I thought we were Qual.
Hey, no, wait, I didn't mean to. Couldn't he have just used a normal match or something? I don't see how this is an issue.
I'm not disputing the object used to light a fire. I'm saying that if I had lit something in front of me, you all would have seen that, right?
Hey, Horse is right. I definitely would have seen it in the fire started small in the center of the room, then was tossed to Ox.
The answer lies in just how flammable this oil is. Frankly, the fact that any amount of this was found at the school is distressing. A meeting of teachers should be called to discuss that. More to the point, it takes little to set a blaze.
Oh, enter noch ein Feuerwehrwagen, oh mein Gott.
The igniter could be something as innocent as a particularly bad static shock. With the carpet in his room, surely it's possible that something of that effect was prepared.
A static shock? Seriously?
Perhaps it's not the most elegant solution. However, it's passable. At any rate, your objection in itself is not enough to absolve you of the prime suspicion.
This can't be. There's no way Horse would do this. I mean, I know he doesn't. He might not look it, but he's actually really thoughtful. And do you really think if he was going to kill Ox, he'd do it in such an obvious way?
Well, Sheep, Horse doesn't exactly strike me as a man of subtlety.
But he's not an idiot either. He wouldn't just do this.
Okay, I'm hearing you, Sheep.
Do you have an alternative explanation?
Well, oh, I know. What if it was Rooster?
Rooster?
He was sitting next to Horse, right? But he was also sitting next to Monkey. Monkey's a traitor, so she might be okay with the plan to disrupt our unity. She says Rooster didn't let go of her hand, but she could be lying about that. So, Rooster's also unaccounted for when the lights went out.
I hate to cut in, Sheep, but I must say this is an absolutely ludicrous proposal. Have I not already proved myself trustworthy by confessing my role? I sincerely wish for nothing but the survival of the most people possible. I will tell you if Rooster let go of my hand. He did not.
That's... You could be lying. Admitting it earlier could be just a ruse, or you change your mind.
Sheep, regardless of whether or not Monkey's lying, it can't be Rooster. Horse, you made your way right to the store, right?
Correct.
And you've claimed the bucket was right in front of you?
As far as I can tell.
Then how would Rooster have gotten to the oil on Ox? In the darkness, he somehow maneuvered around Horse and spilled oil on Ox without him or anyone else noticing? Seems entirely implausible.
You're right, Snake.
Hey, hold on. Who's calling me out? Who's saying what I can do or can't do? Oh my god, Rooster. I totally could have killed Ox. Nothing's holding me back. I could have just prepared my own container for my boy beforehand and used that. I knew where Ox was sitting, so I could easily have thrown that oil on Ox without even leaving my seat.
And where is this hypothetical container now?
Easy. I hid it in a super secret hiding spot when everyone was running away. So what about that? Try saying I couldn't have done it now.
Rooster's right. He's still a suspect.
Rooster, would you please stop? We both know you couldn't have done this. Says who? Ever since we found the note, I've been with you. The note is when we even learned about the oil. In fact, you're the only person who didn't have an opportunity to prepare another container of oil for this. So just stop and let us focus on the important things. Huh. I still could have done it if I really wanted to.
So that's it then. We've settled on Horse as a culprit. Hey, not so fast. Look at how Bunny's trying to fast-track this.
Fast-track this? Fast-track what?
I just thought the conversation was over. We're the suspects, right? Not true. There's someone else who could have set this all up. And that person is you.
Pig overdramatically stuck out her arm and pointed at Bunny. Bunny seemed unimpressed.
Pig, what are you doing? What do you think? I'm exposing you.
Really?
Really? I don't know why you're all looking at me like that. I'm really right about this. Think back to the start of all this. Back at the beginning, the person who turned off the lights was Bunny. Then he went back to his seat.
That's right, I did.
Did you?
Yes.
Well, you might not have. You could have used that opportunity when all our eyes were readjusting to pour oil on the ox chair. If you did it like that, you might not have noticed it. Pour oil on the ox's chair? Pig, that's ridiculous. All of this is ridiculous. I'm just going along with the situation tone and following suit. Something we should all be doing. Anyways, if Snake's thing about static electricity is correct, and that the oil was super flammable, it's possible that when the fire began was a complete coincidence. You could have just waited patiently for it to start.
But Pig, by your logic, couldn't any of the people who start up have done it?
I don't think so. Usually, something like this would be noticeable. When the ritual started, our eyes had adjusted, we were used to the music, and we were all on high alert.
Oh Gott, meine Stimme.
We would have noticed if somebody deviated from script too much. But right after Bunny turned the lights off, it was pitch black. The music suddenly started playing. I think it's conceivable that Bunny could have made a move then. Seriously? No one's buying this, right?
Bunny desperately looked around the room.
I must say, the probability that this was a true answer is rather low. However, it is not so low that I can dismiss it outright. Apologies, Bunny, but I think Big Story holds enough water to mark you as another suspect.
Well, if this is how it needs to be.
It seemed as though Bunny was also under suspicion. But could it really have been him? I couldn't put my finger on it, but something about Pig's version of events just didn't sit right with me. If I could have articulated it into words, I would have, but the feelings was too vague for now. Alright, I'll bite. So, our suspects are Bunny and Horse. Where does that leave us? Did you even ask? We already prepared protocol for dealing with suspicious people.
You know me. Hell yeah, I'll go get my jump ropes. This really doesn't seem necessary.
I don't need to go along with this. Not my compliance as a sign of my innocence.
Of course, Horse. Tiger worked fast. Before I knew it, Bunny and Horse were tied tightly to their chairs. Honestly, it was doubtful about whether or not the restraints the horse would really hold up if he tried to fight back, but it was the best we could do, given the circumstances. At the very least, Horse looked content. Bunny noticeably less so, but he wasn't speaking up. I realized it might be in poor taste to leave them tied up in the same room as the charred corpse, but they were already there. A little late for that.
So, that takes care of that.
Before we proceed, might we suggest that we move in pairs? I know we may seem less... we may seem less at risk than before, but my position on this hasn't changed.
This time, nobody really wanted to fight Monkey on this. I guess seeing a dead body in person made more people value security. Plus, the biggest opponent of the proposal was now lying on the floor. He wasn't in any position to be offering complaints.
Very well then, we'll group up.
I'll go with the dragon. The hell you are. What? Not a fan of my company? Trust me, I'm a great conversationalist. Many can attest. That's negative in my book. Why do you even want to go with me anyways? In the case that I was assaulted, I figured I'd choose the person who would be most adequate to protect me.
Hello, right here.
I stand by what I said. You know what? Fine. You can take it long. Just learn to shut up. Alright.
Fine then. I guess I'll go with sheep.
Okay then. That's okay with me.
Pig and I can watch a monkey. It will be a pain to tie her up again, and she's already proven her worth.
How thoughtful of you to say. I have no objection with this arrangement.
Me neither. Being with a group of three works just fine for me. The math works for me better like that.
Guess that means you're with me, Mouse.
Guess that means you're with me, Doc.
You don't sound enthused.
Matching your level.
Fair enough. Oh, ich mag Dog. Dog ist toll. Ihn kann ich gut sprechen.
Guys. One little objection that I'm just realizing. How exactly are we supposed to input our moves for the rounds if we're tied up?
Right. If we're tied up, we will be unable to input our moves. Then we shall be executed.
Which, gotta say, I don't love.
Fair.
Shit. They were right.
Alright. That is an issue, isn't it? You know what, Mouse? Mouse and I will make sure to swing by at the end of every round to let you handle it. That cool with you, Mouse?
Yeah, sure, but, Monkey? You were tied up too. What happened with you? Ah, right. That. Luckily, Ox came to my aid before it was an issue. He allowed me to use my tablet freely before the end of each round. I must say, it was a good thing to do. Had no one realized it, I would have been executed in a quite unfortunate manner. When I realized my predicament, I was already tied up. Needless to say, I was quite stressed before Ox showed up. Oh, sorry about that. It is in the past. Now, let us face the future.
Let's.
Monkey!
Ich liebe Monkey!
And just like that, the search of the school resumed once more. It was cruel to think that just a few minutes ago, I thought there'd be no need to do this anymore. But that shortcut had literally gone up in flames. Now we had to fear and scramble once more. Why? It had to be the disparate personality. They must have done it to avoid an instant loss. But then, why kill Ox? That was a completely unnecessary step that only brought more suspicion. If they wanted to stop the ritual, there must have been easier methods. For instance, I hadn't thought about it before, but couldn't someone have pricked their finger but simply not bled into the bucket? If they did that, it would be near impossible to tell who had deviated. Well, there's a chance the music would have instantly ended the moment the ritual had conclusively failed. Something similar like happened this time. Still, there had to be other ways. No matter how much I thought about it, I couldn't rationalize things.
Boy, do you look depressed?
I looked up at the dog. We had been looking through an administration office on the second floor. Well, I mean, duh. We were so close. We were almost done with this, and then it all just got fucked up. Why wouldn't I be sad?
No, that makes sense. It's just bringing the atmosphere down in here.
Bringing the atmosphere down? I gotta say, dog, you don't look particularly bored about all of this. You barely spoke back there.
Yeah, well, you know what your issue is?
What?
You have hope. Oh, brother. No, actually, hear me out. I learned a long time ago that you can really let a lot of emotions go to the wayside. And the one that hurt me the least to let go was hope. It's a functionless feeling.
I really don't need this conversation from some washed up emo.
Yeah, I get that. I'm not the person you would trust on something like this. But actually, think about it for a second. What does hope ever get you? It's not a particularly enjoyable emotion all on its own. It's not unpleasant, but it's not a substitute for actual happiness. But the main function of it is to create expectations. Expectations that are either fulfilled, which will make you content, or they won't be fulfilled, and you'll be crushed.
Yeah, this is how life works, dog. Very insightful.
I'm just saying, if you don't bother with the expectations in the first place, you'll learn to take things for how they are. You'll never get let down. I'm not saying it's not to not try things, to improve things. When things go well, savor it. But don't expect things to go well. That way, when they don't, you can just laugh at it.
No, it's funny. You almost sound convincing. Wow.
Almost convincing, huh? You must have caught me on a good day. Anyways, the round end isn't too long from now. Wanna go check on Bunny and Horse?
Let's.
Sie sind tot in 3, 2, 1. Tot.
And just like that, we made our way back to the third floor. As we opened the classroom door, I expected Bunny to be in a rather sour mood.
hell?
Huh? I suppose this is a pretty good counterpoint. Sometimes you think you don't have any expectations and life can still shoot lower. Well, not much you can do about that though.
Would you shut up? Horse is dead.
Oh, no horse sogar. Indeed.
As surprising as it was, Horse's body was laid on the floor, on top of his toppled chair. Cause of that was obvious, a bullet right through his head. Why hadn't I heard a gunshot? Even more surprising than Horse was Bunny. All that was left of him was the rope that had previously been tied around him. In other words, he was gone.
This isn't good. Oh boy, this not good.
Could you not laugh?
Sorry. I'm actually sorry. Just a different way of coping.
Bunny, he must have gotten free, killed Horse and escaped.
So I guess he really did kill Ox then. Weird. I wasn't paying too much attention, but I thought Pig's story didn't make much sense.
I don't know whether or not Bunny killed Ox. I do know he's loose and likely dangerous.
Indeed. Although... That's nothing.
You can't just say that.
I mean, I can.
Just spit it out. What you meant to say.
Okay, jeez. All I was gonna say is that it's kind of weird that Horse's rope was untied. After all, he was probably shot before he was untied, right? So then why untie your corpse?
Huh, good point.
But it probably doesn't really matter all that much, so let's forget that for now. Like I said, the bigger point is the fact that Bunny's gone missing. Want to alert the others?
Did I? Hold on, just wait a second.
Okay, proceeding to wait a second.
Doc seemed in a rush to alert the others. It was disturbing how passé he was acting about this, but for the time that worked to my advantage. Before, I didn't seem like such a big deal. However, now that we have confirmed the fact that there are more killings, we need to look at what happened with Ox closer. Right now, the obvious assumption would be that killer is Bunny. But, does that make sense?
I don't know, does it?
I don't think so. See, the problem with Bunny being the culprit is that the way Pig proposed it, he had no direct control of when the fire started. However, thinking back, the music suddenly got super loud before things went down, not after. That can't be a coincidence.
Hey, you're right.
Also, we have to factor in the noises that happened when things went down. For the sake of argument, Ox's shout of surprise could be him feeling the static shock happening below him. But I heard something else. Something that sounded like a lot of oil landing on Ox.
So you're saying Horse was the culprit?
I'm not saying that. If we're under the assumption that Horse did it, it doesn't make sense for Bunny to kill Horse and flee.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying Bunny might not have escaped. He might also be dead. I let the words hang in the air. I expected some acknowledgement from Doc, perhaps a look of surprise.
But instead, he looked me in the eyes and answered me at my own level. If that's the case, Mouse, then why kill Horse? Huh? Your theory goes that if Bunny isn't the killer and neither is Horse, then there must be someone else. Someone else killed Horse, and then hit Bunny's body to make it look like he escaped. Am I understanding you correctly?
That's the gist of what I'm getting at, yeah.
But everyone agreed that the suspicions cast on Horse held a lot more water than those cast on Bunny.
Stimmt.
People would buy Horse killing Bunny and escaping as the true killer a lot better than they buy Bunny doing that. So why set it up like this?
I couldn't give Doc the answer he looked for. It was a minor problem, but a surprisingly critical one. What could the explanation be?
Ja, was könnte es sein? Wer hat's getan und warum? Die Sache spitzt sich wieder zu und wir müssen herausfinden, was los ist hier. Es wird knapp, es wird spannend. Im nächsten Part aber erst. Ich hoffe, es macht euch Spaß, mir macht Spaß. Ihr könnt mir gerne liken, Kommentare da lassen, abonnieren, macht was ihr wollt. Und dann bis nächstes Mal. Tschüss!